You don't exist. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowed like sis. Did it perfect in a kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look me better. Put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the first part of What If Naruto Enters Owl House? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Orion's Night on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Click clack asterisk. These were the sounds being heard from an old abandoned house, for years due to termite infestation that had been cleared out as well as just being old in general. From the house's doorway that had no actual door came out a scampering small fox, possessing red-orange fur and red eyes with slitted pupils. In its mouth was an empty sack which immediately the fox goes off into the woods, beginning its journey of collecting random things whether be from trash cans to stuff in garages that were left open. The fox began digging through the trash until movement was heard at the doorway, causing it to immediately look towards the door that had begun to open before quickly hiding behind the trash can. TSK. Oh. Oh, my baby. Now, don't worry. Summer camp is only going to be for 3 months. You'll be so busy balancing checkbooks and learning to appreciate public radio, the time will fly by. Slowly the fox peeks out from behind the trash can to find a woman hugging a disappointing-looking girl. But I don't like any of that stuff. Once again the fox hid himself to prevent himself from being seen. I like editing anime clips to music and reading fantasy books with convoluted backstories. Mija, your fantasy world is holding you back. Do you have any friends? Real ones, not imagined or drawn or reptilian. Summer camp is a chance to make some friends, but you have to try. Can you do that? The footsteps got a little louder as the girl approached the trash can. Yes, Mom. And with that, the fox heard something being placed in the trash can just as he heard something make a sound. Oh. I gotta go to work. The fox quilt looks to see the woman was looking at her phone than her daughter who stood in front of the trash and, giving the fox enough time to look up into the trash and swipe what appeared to be a book. Your bus is coming soon. Text me when you get there. See you date mucho, Mija. Que te vaya bien. With that said, she begins walking away with the fox waiting for his chance to leave as he watches the woman soon enough disappearing from sight, giving him a chance to leave but as he did so he heard a voice. Where is it? As he heard that, the fox turns his head to see a girl run aging through her garbage before looking directly at him, both said nothing as they stared at one another. The human girl staring at the fox that had a sack in his mouth with a certain book sticking out of it. Trash thief! She shouts while pointing at the fox who went wide-eyed and immediately turned tails and runs in the opposite direction, away from the girl who gives chase after him and into the woods, more so towards an old house that had been abandoned. The sight of this momentarily stops the girl before her eyes stop on the fox that enters the house, causing her to gather courage and charge headfirst towards the haunted house, entering it just as a door materializes and closed behind her just as the windows and any open part of the house that displayed what's inside glowed bright yellow. From out of nowhere a door forms in a dark open space, opening to show the fox scampering out of it with his bag of garbage, one stolen item, until it was abruptly grabbed by someone and lifted in the air. Finally caught you, you adorable scampering fox. She held the fox who still had the bag in his mouth, staring at her. Why did you steal my? She was cut off by the sight before her what looked like she was in some kinda tent with all sorts of stuff around her. Whoa, I thought I had a lot of weird. She was silenced by the sudden explosion of smoke and with it an increase of weight that instantly cut off as she felt like it no longer weighed anything until the smoke finally clears, introducing her to a new sight. Yeah, mind letting me go? Came to the question of a kid appears to be around her age, his facial features were long and spiky blonde hair worn 2 fox ears poking out of it, whisker-like marks on his cheeks that were widened and thickened, eyes that had red sclera with slitted pupils, and nails as well as canine teeth, both long and sharp. His clothing consisted of black pants, a black jacket, and an orange shirt with a black swirl design in the center. She was still absorbing what she had just witnessed while the fox-eared teen just stares her with a raised eyebrow until a new voice cut in. "Finally you're back." They turned their attention to the flap of what looked like the tent they were in. "Now let's see what the voice stops instantly upon showing itself to be a tall, slender woman with ivory skin, pointy ears unlike Naruto's, maroon lips and golden eyes. Her hair appeared to be untamed, thick-looking, long and layered with 2 tones of gray though it was once bright orange in her youth. She has a single golden fang that sticks out, orange claw-like nails, and an oval amber gem on her sternum. As well as wearing a sleeveless 2-tone maroon dress. All of which the girl took in, unlike the woman who just needed one look at her before face-palming herself. "You had one job, Naruto. In my defense, she followed me. That's the same excuse last time. It was a group of baby ducklings. That's what they were called, though they were baby distractions." As the two had a back and forth, their attention was immediately drawn towards the girl who secretly taken her book back from the sack, having tried to leave only for the door to disappear by magic key with an eyeball. "You're not going anywhere." Her gaze was serious, more so the fact since there was a human in front of her, she could get her to explain all the junk she had and what they were used for. With a gasp, she immediately runs towards the end of the tent and lifts it up while escaping yet not looking forward due to the fact to catch if anyone was behind her, not even seeing she was running towards a cliff until she looked ahead to find herself running right off it, which she gave a scream before being abruptly stopped by the tugging of her bag, looking up to find the fox/human/thing waving at her. "Yo, need some help?" His question got an immediate nod, which Naruto began to pull her up where she falls on her knees, having almost fallen to her believed death before backing at Naruto who has his head tilted, and quickly she stood up straight, suddenly, grabbing the blonde much to his surprise while staring at the concern on her face. "Where am I? Did I die? Am I in the hell?" The fox-eared teen began to sweat drop as he looked in either direction, unnerved at the fact it was the first time he was touched by someone he did not know. "No. Is this some kinda monster world then? You were a fox and now you're a human." "Well sorta," she was again, abruptly cut off by a hand touching her shoulder, seeing that the woman had a hand on her. "You wish." With that said, the girl was taken back to their tent and placed on a chair in front of them. "I'm so sorry. I just wanted my book." She displayed a look of fear upon her face before making an uncalled-for comment. "If you're gonna eat my skin, just make it quick. Just do it now." In response, Naruto looked offended. "What do you take us for, savages?" His question caused her eyes to widen at realizing she just offended him, into his next comment. "Besides, not all of us do that here." This both surprised and unnerved the girl before the woman spoke up. "Eat you? Why would I eat a potential explainer?" With that said, she revealed a slipper. "First things first, what's this?" She revealed a RBB shoe with holes in it. "A water slipper for the beach?" With that immediate response, the woman smiles. "What's this bar of green human candy?" "Deodorant for your armpits." Gagging sounds. "How about this black shadow box that reflects only sadness?" "That's a TV." "A what?" As this back and forth happened, Naruto had gotten bored and yawned until his ears picked up on a sound, moving his gaze towards the TV that was playing a video of some guy working out. The music itself drew in a crowd quite fast upon hearing it, much to the woman's surprise, as they were basically throwing money at her for the device. "What did you say your name was?" Her question caused Naruto to blink in surprise and look at her as she spoke. "I'm Luz. Luz Nocita." With that introduction, she smiled out of happiness. "Well, Luz, that was pretty clever, for a human." While speaking she started taking their money despite not yet deciding who will buy it. That's kind of a weird thing for another human to say. Her words caused the woman to chuckle. Ida, oh, dear child, I'm not like you. She pulls off her scarf to reveal her pointy ears while getting on her table. I'm Ida the Owl Lady, the most powerful witch on the Boiling Isles. Her words instantly got a shocked expression from the human, unlike Naruto who facepalms. A witch? I am respected and feared here. The blonde is Naruto. She said, motioning to Naruto who seemed to be pointing at something, confusing her until they heard it. Busted. CRP baskets. With the arrival of the guard, everyone scatters in fear while he destroys the TV, much to the sadness of the ones who wanted to buy it but also anger at not being able to get their stolen money back now. Ida the Owl Lady and Naruto the Fox, you two are wanted for misuse of magic and demonic misdemeanors. The guard declares, showing a wanted poster of him, Ida, and some Pokemon-looking pet. Whoa. Criminals. Luz looked more amazed than scared at this point. You two are hereby ordered to come with me to the conformatorium. At this point, Naruto has raised an eyebrow. Really? His words were followed by Ida. Would you guys quit following me around? I haven't done squat. Her obvious lie was not believable by anyone. And you're coming too. He proceeded to grab Luz all of a sudden by the back of her hood, taking her by surprise. For fraternizing with a criminal. His declaration shocked Luz, who felt herself being criminalized for nothing. What? That's not cool. In an instant the guard shouts in pain as something hits his knee, causing him to drop Luz into Naruto's arms upon kicking the guard in the shin, taking the girl by surprise. And that's our criminal system. Just after saying that, Ida took this as her chance and swings her staff into the guard's head, knocking him down before she does some magic trick to lift all her objects out from the tent and into a bag while Naruto let Luz down. Follow me, human. With the bag on her staff, she made a run for it, followed by Naruto then Luz. This is crazy. If I die here, my mom's gonna kill me. Ha. I won't let him hurt you. A human like you is much more valuable to me alive than dead. Why what? With a single shout, she grabs Luz just as Naruto puffs into smoke, transforming into a fox as he jumps on Luz's back while Ida takes off by her staff with wings sticking out of it, allowing them to flee towards the sky with a said human having her eyes glued shut. You can open your eyes now, human. Her words gained a whimper from Luz until she felt something fuzzy resting against her back. This is a comfy seat. Muttered Naruto in his fox form, using her hoodie as a seat and her head to hold onto, causing a gasp from Luz as she opens her eyes and immediately she slips and finds herself upside down. Pull up, screamed Naruto, who was holding on for dear life until Edo helps her back to sitting upright, much to Naruto's relief. Flying staffs, crazy monsters, you're a witch, what is this place? Her shock and amazement merely caused the woman to smile. This is the Boiling Isles. Every myth you humans have is caused by a little of our world leaking into yours. Take, a screech cut her off as a griffin flew by them. A griffin. I knew it. Yep. Griffins, vampires, haunted teddy bears, evil demonic clowns, giraffes. At this point, Luz spoke up. Giraffes? Oh, yeah. We banished those guys. Bunch of freaks. Yet this seemed to shock Naruto the most, having his own wide eyes. Wait, but I thought that they were from Chuck Norris once uppercutting a horse in the chin. This caused Luz to smirk and give a small laugh. That's a joke, he didn't actually do that. Wait, really? Naruto moves around to get on Luz's lap to stare at her in shock. Did he at least decide what time it is? Another joke. Ah, come on, I thought he was your human's god. Now. Ida finally lands and gets off. No need to go into detail on some trivial things. At this point, Luz exclaims and hops off upon seeing Ida's hand stuck on the staff, causing Naruto to fall and do a roll before puffing back into his human form to glare at Luz, who scratches the back of her head sheepishly with a sorry. Oops. Ida grabs it and reattached it. That happens sometimes. At this point, Luz was out. Well, I've had enough adventure for today. This is clearly not the PG fantasy world I always dreamed about, so can you help me get back home? This gained a raised eyebrow from Naruto while Ida shakes her head. Only if you help me first. She gives a chuckle. Ah, now, come along, human. With a nudge from Naruto, she follows and they stop at a clearing after getting past a couple of trees. Whoa! Her attention was on the large house they approached and stopped in front of the door. Aren't you worried about those guards finding us? Nope. My house has a state-of-the-art defense system. Edo said before inwardly cringes as the owl head on the door spoke. Hoot hoot. Password, please. Ah. When he heard that, Naruto's eyes narrowed and placed a hand on his chin. Password? Nope. Password 1. You win this time. It was this exchange that Luz couldn't help but smile, unlike Ida, who wasn't amused by their conversation. Sigh, we got no time for this, Hootie. She pokes his eyes. Let us in already. With a look of annoyance, he obliged. All right. Geez. You never want to have any fun, at least Naruto does. Ow. Hoot. The owl proceeds to retches as they all enter and retches again with a burp. Welcome to. She snaps her fingers, the owl house. Unneeded gasps were gained while the house began doing magic stuff like it was Mickey Mouse's Fantasia house with it glowing such as the ceiling. Where I hide away from the pressures of modern life. Also the cops. Also ex-boyfriends. This caused Naruto to raise an eyebrow at hearing that, recalling her odd boyfriends. This place is appealing. Luz proceeds to look at Naruto. Do you live here all alone with your mom? This question caught Naruto by surprise, causing Ida to turn towards Luz in shock. Hey. I'm not that old. She crosses her arms. Besides, he's not my kid, I'm just looking after him till his amnesia wears off. It was at this point they heard thudding footsteps. I do have an actual roommate, though like Naruto's he isn't paying rent. At this point, they looked at the corner of the room to see something coming down the hallway and spoke in a deep voice. Who dares intrude upon I? Instantly his voice gets high-pitched, throwing logic out the window. The king of demons. The Pokemon-looking pet wearing a towel on his head and body squeezes a RBB duck while Luz gasps and changes. K. Lindo. Ida, he's so cute. She hugs him tightly. Who's a whittle guy? Who's a whittle guy? Is it you? Is it you? This only angers the pet who tries struggling. No. I don't know who your little guy is. Ida, Whiskers, who is this monster? His demand got uncalled for an answer. Oh, this is Luz, the human. She proceeds to point at Naruto. Naruto kidnapped her by accident. She followed me. Yeah, after you stole my book. You threw it in the trash. Oh, you knew. Their disagreements were silenced by Ida speaking up. She's here to help us with our little situation. This got an immediate response. Oh. Hooray. With that said, Naruto takes him from Luz's hands to set him on the floor. Wait. Luz shakes her head. I don't like the sound of this situation. And right was by presuming that. Just, let me explain. King was once a mighty king of demons until his crown of power was stolen, and he became this. At this point, they all just look at King, who appeared to be offended, more so at what Luz said next. You mean this little bundle of joy? Immediately he hides behind Naruto, whose hands were in his pockets. The crown is being held by the evil warden Wrath and locked away behind a magical force field that only a human can break through, a human like you. If you help us retrieve his crown, we'll send you back to your realm. So what do you say? Plus, she quickly picks up King. Who could say no to this cute face? No. Please don't encourage her. Ah. Yet in the end, it encourages her just after she loses her hold and drops King, making a small flop and pain sound. I mean, we're kinda your only way home. So I don't really have a choice, do I? Nope. Soon, Mr. Ducky, King squeezes to the toy. We shall drink the fear of those who mocked us. This only got a raised eyebrow from both Naruto and Luz. The conformatorium, began Ida as they had arrived at basic prison, standing outside the massive building. A place for those considered unsuitable for society. As she finishes, Luz has already found their wanted poster on the wall. Whoa. These guys are really focused on you too. This causes Ida to smile proudly. Yep. But we were never caught because we're too slippery. Luz raises an eyebrow and looks at Naruto. She meant that literally. The blonde started to smile. One of my pranks did not go well. At this point Ida wasn't smiling and somewhat glaring at Naruto, causing Luz to look between them. You still mad about that whole freeze explosion messing with your hair? King asks, and in turn, Ida's eye twitches before he ignores that and looks at Luz. You, Naruto, and I will sneak up to the top of the tower, where they're holding my crown. He points with his whittle arms at the opening at the top. And I'm gonna make sure the warden's distracted. This caused Naruto to raise an eyebrow. By distracted you mean flirt? Hey, what do you take me for? Don't know, but the fox-eared teen crosses his arms. When I got captured once, the warden kept asking me questions about you, like if you were single, and you seem to have gotten an idea from hearing that and how to use that to your advantage. Luz just stayed quiet as she watched the scene between the two before her eyes widen. Oh no, I forgot to bring a disguise. This got both of their attention drawn to her while watching a light bulb go off in her head. I've been waiting to use this. Meow, meow. What she had done was pull her giddy up to reveal animal ears, causing Naruto to look revolted as he touched his chest. Yet no, that offends me. Quit being a drama queen, Naruto. With that, Ida taps her staff on the ground finally, creating a floating platform under their feet as they floated in the air and straight towards the window, yet it immediately disappears with Naruto grabbing the ledge and Luz, who holds on for dear life, again with King, too. By the time they pulled themselves up, Eds was already heading for the top. After seeing this, the three enter to find a massive prison, filled with jail cells from up to bottom. Naruto, that you? This gained their attention to see a girl older than them in a cell, having a ponytail and vampire fangs. Have you come back with the reviews? Did they love or hate it? This caused the blonde to cringe as he looked away. They low, it was trashed. This caused her to become horrified as she sighs sadly with Luz and King looking at each other. Wait, Luz finally spoke with confusion. You've been here. Many times in fact, but each time I managed to escape the warden, rather not think about it. Naruto showed an uncomfortable expression as he recalled the man on his knees, begging him to help him win Ida's heart. Naruto, the fanfic writing chick, hit his attention to show another stack of papers. I've written an even better story, so pass it around and get their feedback. No, they. Naruto walks closer just to slap it out of her hands. No. He points at her accusingly. I will not spread around your weird fanfics about food falling in love. People thought I was lying and I was the author. My image was damaged because of you. He shouted at the girl, who crosses her arms in annoyance. We are agents of VOICEOVER. They will never silence us. This got their attention from the conspiracy theorist girl who was shouting in her cell. The world is going to end. We are but playthings for a higher being. The Demon King will rise again. As she shouted that, the group just sweat drops while Naruto just stares at her in confusion. Yeah, the fanfic writer sighs as she spoke. She's really big into conspiracy theories, don't stop blabbing about the coming end. Wait. Luz showed confusion at the two. Those aren't crimes. You two haven't actually done anything wrong. You're just a bunch of weirdos. Like us. This caused Naruto to look at her, offended before he stops realizing what he did and just smiles at recalling the pranks he's pulled before they heart-thundering footsteps. It's Warden Wrath. Hide. Immediately Naruto grabs Luz and pulls her with him into a cell as he puffs into a fox that hides behind her. I can hear you. Spoke the hulking figure of the man who opened the door, entering much to Liz's terror, and Naruto's not giving any CRP expression. Just what are you fools whispering about? His attention was drawn towards the floor to see the wanted poster. Ah. The owl lady. I'll get my hands on her soon enough. As he spoke he slammed his arm into the cell on his right, denting it after his right arm turned into a hammer, gaining his attention to see Luz and King, but before he could think about them the conspiracy nut job spoke. Fight against the oppressor. We will resist. If he could, Wrath's eye would have twitched in annoyance. We will conquer. We will never be afraid of you, you old creep. At this point, he stood in front of her cell just as it opens. Away. I'm F. She was silenced by the masked warden grabbing her entire body with his single hand. Let this be a lesson to all of you. There's no place in society for you if you can't fit in. His warning was then followed by someone shouting. And this is why Ida will never go out with you. At this point, Luz starts sweating and turns towards the smiling fox who had made his voice sound a little deeper. Who said that? The warden looks at a number of jail cells to his right and approached the one he believed said it, stopping in front of the terrified Luz and King who stared back. Speak up now and I will be lenient on your punishment. His demand had frightened the two, which Luz spoke first. We didn't say anything. And I'm terrified. Hearing their voices, the warden moves back and looks around the cells yet didn't spot the one he believed said that. Just for that remark, no dinner tonight. His words gained cheers, having taken aback the warden. Yes, a break from that god-awful food. Welp, back to eating bugs. I wish the Heath Witch Inspector would just show up already. At this point the warden has had enough and marches out of the room, slamming the door behind him and gaining silence until one spoke. Ah, I liked that sloppy mess of a dinner. Shut up, Carl. At this point, Naruto had returned to normal and lifted the jail bars with Luz and King following after, the latter of who was glaring at Naruto. Naruto, why did you do that? Luz stares at the blonde who didn't really seem to care. We could have been caught because of you. Yet he just shrugs his shoulders. Didn't you hear me when I said I've escaped many times, even if he caught us we could have still escaped. This just caused her to sigh at the blonde's carefreeness before she focuses on the writer. Don't worry. I can get you out. She grunts upon pushing the lever yet it didn't budge. No. My weak nerd arms. At this point, Naruto just facepalms at Luz's comment, not sure whether to laugh or not. Just get out of here while you still can, kid. Enjoy freedom for us. With a depressed expression, she walks away from the sad Luz, unlike Naruto who at the time had exited from the cell, for some reason going back inside it. It was at this point the three began moving as a group with Luz not being happy one bit, unlike Naruto who at this point was tilting every picture frame in the hallway. Hey! Ida has arrived on her staff, getting off in front of them from the window. I just checked. The warden is distracted by the conspiracy nut, doesn't help the fact something must have pissed him off so he's gonna take time to torment some tiny creature. He won't be coming around here anytime soon. Yet despite hearing all that, Luz just walks past her, confusing Ida. What's her deal? Don't worry about it, she's gonna be doing a 180 soon. This further confused Ida, who watched Naruto walking away, yet she simply smiles as she realizes he's got something planned. At this point, they had arrived at a large door with, contraband, printed on it. My crown. It's close. King immediately charges in, climbing on Naruto and pointing at the door. I can sense its power, so hurry up and open it, Naruto. If you help me get my crown, I'll let you be my loyal subject. As he spoke while grunting and pushing him, the blonde didn't seem like he was in the mood to follow orders, unlike Ida, who smiles. Ah, he gets so cute when he's thirsty for power. Yet despite this cute scene, Luz still wasn't happy. It's not fair that they're all in here. They just want to be themselves. Why does everyone think that being a weirdo is so bad? Her words were followed by grunts and cackling from King, who was now holding onto Naruto's leg while he tried kicking him off. Come on, before he hurts himself. With that said, a single wave of her staff and the door unlocks, an opening which signaled King to let go and charge headfirst in the room, with the others following behind to stare at the massive sphere light that had zapped King upon touching it. We have a human, remember? Oh, yeah. With a deep breath, Luz enters the light and disappearing from sight. 2 minutes later. Slap. Luz has just gotten done facepalming herself as she watched King celebrating while wearing the Burger Queen crown. Yes. Yes. I can feel my powers returning. You, there. Naruto. He points at the fox, who blinks in surprise. Your new name is Whiskers, now hurry and find me stead so I can lead my army of darkness. Haha. This merely caused Naruto to smile while he raised an eyebrow but shrugs. As you wish, my liege. Shall I prepare you bubble bath and ducky when we get back? Yes. At this point, Luz couldn't take it and speak to Ida in confusion. That crown doesn't give him any powers, does it? No. Truth is, King was more so a pet to a demon a long time ago, not sure what happened, but he got turned into the King we know now, a lovable softie. Ida smiles as seeing King riding on Naruto's shoulders. Luz. King, Naruto, and I don't have much in this world. We only have each other. So if that dumb crown is important to King, it's important to us. And besides, us weirdos have to stick together, you know. Well, we owe you one. Now, let's get out of here before the warden finds us and loses his head. As she spoke, Naruto's eyes widen upon hearing something, and turns fast just as something came flying from the door that had opened, instantly cutting off Ida's head that was caught by Naruto. Too late. Wrath said, having to throw a causer like a blade at the witch, causing Luz to scream in horror until the head spoke. Ow. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Another scream was gained from the even more horrified Luz. Ida. How? This just happens when you get older. Does it? As they had this small conversation, Wrath was approaching the group with guards at his side. Finally, I have you cornered, Ida the Owl Lady. He approaches the group and swiftly takes Kong's crown, much to his horror, and tried jumping to reach it but to no avail. My guards could never get you, but I knew if I took your pet's toy, you'd come running. With a movement of his hand, he crushes the hat much to King's horror while Ida's body began moving around to find its head. No. My power. Sobbed the pet, who couldn't bear to look at the crown while Naruto showed annoyance. Now that I have you here, I can finally ask you something. With a deep breath he takes out a bouquet of flowers. Will you go out with me? This dumbfounded the group except for Naruto, who just sighs. Go, boss. You the warden. Thumbs up were exchanged between the warden and guard with Naruto facepalming. You've always eluded our capture. You've always been the one who got away. I found that alluring. At this point, Luz was creeped out. I hate everything you're saying right now. I think that might be his KNK. You stay out of this. The warden shouts while he throws the flowers away to transform his right arm into tentacles that slammed into both Naruto and Luz, wrapping around the two of them. Yet unlike Luz, Naruto didn't struggle as he watched the warden lift Ida by her hair. "So how about it, Owl Lady? The most powerful witch of the Boiling Isles and the feared warden Wrath. We'd be the strongest power couple ever. I mean, he looks her head up and down. It's not like you can say no right now." Yet despite hearing all that, he heard a snort. "Well, ex-warden you mean?" When he heard that, Wrath turns his attention to smiling Naruto, who was pulled closer, inches from his nose, poking him in the air. And why is that? It was at this point they heard it, a large explosion causing the warden to turn towards the door, where he saw guards running in a frantic, with one guard stopping at the door. "Warden, the prisoners are all out. The cells have all been opened." At this point, the warden turns in anger towards Naruto, taking off his mask to reveal a monster. "What did you do?" "Left a clone of myself in a cell in order to let all the prisoners out. You should have really had a guard stand by watching them all." This infuriated the monster, who lifts Naruto before he stops. "Fuidum." At that point he turns to see a large group of prisoners charging straight for him, tackling the warden, who drops Naruto, who lands on his feet, shocking Luz, who only stares at Naruto with sheer amazement, while Ida's body finally finds the head, and as it attaches she laughs upon witnessing the scene of a bunch of random prisoners attack the warden, one using the actual food as a means to hurt the warden. "Get that away from me." As this was happening, the whole prison was in total chaos, with prisoners rioting and guards wondering who the hell was supposed to keep watch of the prisoners which left them. Ehehe, well, this didn't go exactly to plan, but it still works out in the end. Ida walks over to Naruto and pats his back. "One of your better chaotic pranks, I might add." Her words caused the blonde to smile brightly as the four quickly got on board Ida's staff and flew out through the window, missing the fact flames started appearing from the windows due to the fact one of the prisoners was an actual criminal arsonist. It did not help that he could breathe fire. "Well, that was fun," spoke the blonde, who sat on the couch, legs on a leg rest. "So, what now?" "Well, a deal's a deal. Let's get you home." Ida takes out her key and presses the I button, causing the suitcase to open up into a door for Luz, who stares at it before turning sadly towards the group, seeing King look down depressed. "Before I go." She walks over to them. "I know it's not the same, but a king shouldn't be without a crown." As she spoke, she reveals a toy and takes off its crown to hand it to King. "This shall suffice," he said after placing it upon his head. "You there, Whiskers. You are now under my command." His words gained a laugh as he stood up. "I'll prepare the bubble bath." As he spoke he stops and stares at Luz to see she was handed back her book and was staring at it in thought before back at them through the mirror before smiling. "Okay. I know you got your head cut off, and Naruto started a prison riot, but this was the most fun I've ever had." This caught Naruto off guard as he stares at her. "I don't fit in at home. You don't fit in here. If I stay, we could not fit in together. I'm not going back to summer camp." When he heard that, Naruto couldn't help but smile. "What summer camp? What are we talking about here?" Ida found this to be funny, not getting what's happening. "I want to stay and become a witch like you and Azra," she said while displaying the book to them. "What? Alright, that's crazy. Humans can't become witches." Yet her denial was answered. "Maybe that's because they haven't tried. If you teach me to become a witch, I'll do anything you want." This caused a light bulb to go off in Kong's head. "Let her stay. She can make us snacks." The last part was whispered yet audible to them all while Ida thought about it. "Well, I could use a hand keeping this goofball out of the cupboards and Naruto from bonding with Hootie too much, starting to freak me out." She picks up King in her arms. "All right. I'll teach you how to be a witch. But you have to work for me before you learn any spells. Deal?" Instead of a handshake, what she got was a big hug, squeezing King between them. Too tight. Too tight. What's going on? While watching this, Naruto just smiles at a new member of their family. Snoring. That was the sound escaping from the blonde's mouth as he was fully asleep. That was until he heard something, repeatedly, and as seconds went by he heard it clear and clear, until cock-a-doodle-doo, ow. Came the shout of Hooty, who was straight up slapped by Naruto, who sat up with a yawn. Hooty, he called the name of the owl who wasn't happy at being slapped. What have I told you about doing that? I will have my revenge. Hooty shouts, once again completely ignoring Naruto while he retreats out the window, leaving him to sigh before getting up to get dressed. Die. 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 Came the repeated shout of King stabbing his multi-eye egg breakfast on the froth of Naruto, who sat across from him eating a bowl of instant ramen that came from the human world. Yawn. That sound was followed by multiple steps being made, causing Naruto to turn away from King. More. Naruto stooped as his gaze lands on Luz, looking like a stereotype witch. Remember me? Luz. She grunted upon a floating cup hitting her in the back of the head. Yesterday. As she spoke, she soon notices both Naruto and King looking at her. I'm not sure if I should laugh or be offended again by you looking like a stereotype witch. This surprised the human girl, who didn't realize it while Ida spoke upon preparing her drink. Kid, lay off the details. I haven't even had my cup of apple BLD yet. She raises the cup in her hand. You mean apple juice? Nope. Naruto continues to eat his ramen in peace. Apple BLD is from apple monsters. They're like human apples, but they actually have a kill count. This caused the girl to swallow while Ida slurps. Don't let the name fool you, they are vicious monsters. One is easy but 1,000, yeesh. Ida once again slurps her drink before Luz gets back on topic with the woman sitting on the table between the fox and cat/dog demon thing. Teach me some spells. When do I get a magic staff? Was I supposed to bring my own runes? Luz proceeded to make a horrible gasp that caught Naruto's attention. Do you have a dangerous magical quest for me? Naruto just sighs loudly before turning to Ida. If you don't hurry up and explain things, Ida, she's gonna continue acting like a stereotype while wearing that traffic cone and bathrobe. The last part has confused the girl, who tilts her head, unlike King, who laughs. Traffic what? At this point, Ida takes her hat and blows on it, sending dust and soot everywhere and on King's meal, unlike Naruto, who hid his under the table. Aw, I wasn't done picking at the eyeballs yet. Complained the demon, who stares at his now black meal. But a magic staff, huh? Ida shows a genuine smile of interest. You really want one? That got a response by Luz, who nods crazily. More than anything. With a smile, Ida snaps her fingers. Magic staff, come to me. It was with this command, immediate clattering was heard, followed by shattering sounds. At this point, Naruto leans a little to see around the corner what was happening along with King, while Ida just sighs before the staff came crashing in, wrapped in clothing, as it slams into Ida's face just as she catches it with a grunt. It's early. With that, explanation mode was on. Now, witches are awarded their staffs from school. With me as your teacher, you'll be taking a different approach. She picks up a sack on the floor and drops it in front of Luz. You'll have to work for it. I run a few businesses. On weekends, I offer rare human treasures that Naruto drags over from your side of the realm. But most days I sell only the finest homemade elixirs and potions. She motions towards the sack, which Luz looks into. Snake oil. No one wants an unoiled snake, so follow me. With that, the two start walking away from Naruto and King towards the balcony. Once they were gone, the two looked at each other, wondering who will have to play babysitter to Luz in her mission, and it took a minute or two before they came back. Remember, never befriend a man in sandals and always measure twice, cut once. Came the words of Ida, who lead Luz back into the room much to her confusion. Good luck. Despite what she was told, Luz looked very confused and glances over towards Naruto, who had just shrugged while finishing his bowl of ramen, gaining a snap of Ida's fingers in realization. Oh yeah, you'll need a guide. She glances over to Whiskers. Off you go, Naruto. This merely got an annoyed expression from him, which he turns to look at her. Wouldn't it be better to show her in person what to do? His words merely got ignored by the witch, who shook her head. Nope, I'm busy, and since you brought her here you can watch her. Immediately grumbles were hailed as he sat his bowl on the table to walk over to Luz's side, yet she looks at Ida. Wait, she was cut off by the witch pushing the two towards the opening door, rushing them through it while she spoke. Remember what I said and trust Naruto, yet if he asks you for a favor don't do it, learn that the strong way. The last part had confused Luz while they watched the door close in front of them, the human turning to look at the innocent Naruto, who had turned into a fox and acted adorably, yet even so Luz's eyes narrowed suspiciously, who transformed into his humanoid form again just as the door opened. Be back by nightfall or risk mortal peril. Naruto makes sure she doesn't lose any limbs. Once again that last pet, instead of confusing Luz, made her look at Naruto in worry, who had his back turned towards her. Relax, just avoid talking to everyone. You have a nice trip, Hootie said, staring at the two of them before Luz manages a smile with the bag being held over her shoulder. I guess it's time to start getting a move on. In response, Naruto once more turned into a fox to climb on the surprised Luz in order to get in her hood, using it as a seat. I'm still tired, so you'll have to do the walking, now get a move on, giddy up. Despite hearing that, Luz was just staring at him with a blank expression, as if not even temporarily affected, before she sighs. You're lucky you look adorable. She begins to walk down the trail from the house. Let's get a move on. Wow. Mutters Luz, who just stares at the civilians upon arriving at a market corner, seeing different kinds of species conversing with each other while they shopped, talked, or did some kinda controversial thing. Guessing humans are different? Questions the hood fox, who had shrunk his size to become fully inside her hood, using it as a means to rest yet could still hear very well. I've only seen places like this in my dreams. It's incredible. And I'm the only human here. Her question caused him to open his eyes and look up at her. You dreaming about something like this is pretty weird, but no, you're the only human here. The last one was eaten by the ground. Luz became horrified with a gasp. How did he die? Wano, he wasn't buried. He was eaten by the literal ground eater, which reminds me, if you see a crack don't step on it. This caused Luz to start sweating as she looks around quickly before hearing some laughter from her hood, causing her eye to twitch. You're joking, aren't you? For a human, you're pretty gullible. He could feel her glare before he spoke. But yes, so far you're the only human here. We don't get that many humans who stumble into this world. When she heard that, Luz's eyes widen as she has a realization. What if I, Luz Nocida, average teen, actually had? She gave a gasp, a predetermined path of Griya. She was cut off by Naruto's paw repeatedly patting her cheek. No, no, no. It was an accident, since you decided to follow an adorable fox into a shady-looking house. After you took my book. Again, you put it in the trash. As they had their back and forth, the two continued to walk in the street towards their destination. Anyway, today I'm delivering packages, but tomorrow I'll be earning the respect of everyone on the boiling aisles with my magical prowess. This merely caused Naruto to snort as he moves to get in front of Luz's face to place his paws on his cheeks. It's adorable that you think that will all happen in a day, guessing that's human naivety for ya. This caused the girl to glare at the fox as he grabs his by the back of his neck to lift him in front of her face. Why are you trying to put me down? 'Cause not everything is based around you being the main character in this world. As he finished saying that, with a puff of smoke, her returns to his human form. Besides, this place is nothing but a backwater archipelago. Compared to the actual empire south of here, this place is nothing. This surprised Luz, who tilts her head. Wait, kingdom. Her eyes slowly widen and smiles as she grabs his shoulders. As in, something besides the boiling isles. Naruto just stares at her before he sighs. Yeah, the demon empire for one. Naruto raises a single finger. The empire is a single unified kingdom that is in charge of this realm, just like the other realms. At this point, he could see her smile increasing, which in turn caused Naruto to start to sweat. Did you not read anything about this realm? Nope. At this point, Naruto was scratching the back of his head while thinking how to explain before he finally spoke after a few seconds. First things first, the underworld, in general, is not affiliated with hell. That's an entirely different thing. He stops to see her taking actual notes, which he just stares at her, finding this to be nothing but a drag since he rather pulls pranks and stuff. Anyways, the underworld is a separate place, and you can think of it as Earth's reverse world or something. In the underworld, there are 7 realms, one being this entire realm including the Boiling Isles and the Demon Empire. This place doesn't fall under the Demon Empire's jurisdiction, and before you ask, no, I don't know why, didn't really pay attention to Ida teaching. After he said that, Naruto turns his back to Luz and starts walking while the human follows. Why does the Boiling Isles look like a giant corpse? That's because it is. It's from a dead titan, and no, I don't know how it died or what a titan is or why there aren't any more. This further confused yet intrigued the girl, who wanted to know more about the place from Naruto while they went to deliver. It took a single hour for Luz to find it hopeless on delivering, since most deliver either got stolen or straight up eaten by some monster. In the end, the two were making their way through an alleyway, the human standing next to the fox-eared teen. I thought of being human made me special. Luz begins to once again frown. Yet all it's doing is making me get screamed at or eaten like the doorbell mouth. Well, that's the Boiling Isles for you. Naruto just shrugs, not really caring much at all for what has happened, while Luz looks sadly at her book. At this point, I would have been already sent on an enchanted quest. She shows the wizard page to the blonde. Where's my quest-granting wizard? Simple, they don't exist. This caused Luz's eyes to bug. Not sure what kind of wizards you humans have, but to us here, wizards aren't real but merely fanfiction. This merely disappoints Luz, who picks up her large bag. This has been a rough day. With that being said, the two began moving on, yet as they walked through the alleyway, they turned a corner to arrive at a particular site, being a massive castle. Pretty. With that said, she immediately runs to the doorbell, with Naruto sighing behind her before running after the girl, who pressed on it, gaining a ring with the doors opening. The last time I've seen a house like this, Hootie set it ablaze out of jealousy. This caused Luz's eyes to widen. Which reminds me, don't mention this to Hootie, he gets really jealous of better-looking homes. Noted. With that said, the door had opened up and immediately Luz walks in. Hello. Sure, walk into a stranger's home, doesn't scream kidnapping at all. At that point, the door shuts behind Naruto, who took note of it yet runs after Luz. I'm delivering a package from Miss Ida, the owl lady. Immediately lights were lit, revealing the large room, more so showing the owner to being a stereotype wizard when he walked into the room. Today just got good. Magical wizard. Luz was happily running in place, unlike Naruto, who was looking around, taking note of what to steal if it looked expensive enough and if the guy was indeed evil. I was in my oscillarium, reading the stars. He stops at the bottom of his staircase to look at them. And who might you be, with eyes full of curiosity? He rubs his beard while staring at the two, which Luz steps forward. She was cut off by Naruto speaking over her while grabbing the sack. Listen, Gandalf, we've got your order. He walks over to the man that appeared to be confused by the reference yet takes the bag. That's your order, right? Yet despite hearing that, he takes one look at it before back at Luz and smiles again. Young lady, dareth I say, I sense something unique about you. This caused her to blush in embarrassment and happiness. Please, won't you join me for tea? A gasp was earned from the human, unlike the fox who already set his sights on a valuable-looking vase that had his name on it, while the so-called wizard creates chairs and a table with snacks on it. Okay. The excited girl said, yet stops from Naruto grabbing her shoulder. Let's leave. His eyes narrowed on the smiling old man. Don't trust a book by its cover. You mean to judge a book by its cover? No. But the stars on his robe are sparkling. She counters, yet a horrible one. And look, there's a baby fox in his beard. Maybe you guys can be friends. At this point, Naruto was just staring at her with a look that made him look offended, yet he lets her go. Know what, go on right ahead. Call me when you find out the wizard isn't all magical all he seems. At this point, Naruto had turned around to start looking around the room for things to steal that can fit in his pockets, while Luz talks to the wizard now named Adagast, yet Naruto could care less about it. Well, I have a quest. The moment Adagast said that, the two heard a shatter and turned to look at a broke vase, then Naruto who stood next to it whistling. This caused Adagast to give Naruto a blank expression, just like Luz before the man shakes his head. Would you like to go on a quest? Yes. Naruto looked once again annoyed as he watched Adagast lead Luz away while he spoke. The prophecy speaks of a young human girl who will claim the celestial staff and free this world from an ancient. Naruto just turns away, having lost interest in onto the jewels and stuff to steal, picking up a diamond, yet instantly it lost its color, turning into a rock. What the? Naruto forms and turns fast to find the entire room turned into an old rundown castle. Upon seeing this caused Naruto's blood to run cold as he immediately ran towards the door Adagast led Luz to, opening it to find they were gone, with the room also being run down with a wall missing. Why? That piece of. As he spoke, Naruto got angrier at the fact he fell for such a simple trick, while his body gets covered in smoke as his form changes, and as it did so, he didn't even notice the fact a pair of eyes were on him as he took on a new form. Luz was now very, very afraid at the fact she had awakened to find herself deep in the woods with a purple mist surrounding her, causing her to whimper while holding a tree branch close to her chest. Naruto. Adagast. Luz called, yet no reply while she was looking around desperately. Can you guys hear me? Yet at this point, she finally heard branches breaking and turns to thankfully see that Adagast had arrived. Luz, the human. Magical wizard. Your hubris has failed you. His form became loose as his eyes practically fell out, with his body becoming slack. Which apprentice? With cackling heard, Luz was introduced to a large, light mauve octopus-like monster that had actual arms among its tentacles. It smiled with its yellow teeth and gums showing, while its black scaras with yellow iris and black pupils' eyes fixate on her. Luz tries backing away, yet behind her rises two tentacles using puppets. Huh. Okay, Luz. Don't panic. This is classic chosen one biz. She swallows noticeably loudly at having been surrounded. You just have to defeat the final boss despite skipping the entire quest. Yet hearing this merely gained cackling. You fool, don't you see? I'm no wizard. And you're no chosen one. His cackling turns to full-blown evil laughter, much to Luz's horror, before chains materialize on her, restraining her. What? No. Why are you doing this? Her demand was met with an answer from the monster. Your mentor has been stealing customers from my potions business for years. She must be destroyed. His smile grew. And once I capture her adopted son, she will come without a doubt. His plan worried Luz. And you lured him right into my trap. He'll be here soon. He became giddy at seeing the hurt in her eyes grow. All because you wanted to think you were special. At this point, her eyes widen, and turns to look at him with faith. No. Joke's on you, 'cause Naruto isn't stupid enough to fall for your trap. Yet he cackles at hearing her words. Oh please, he's a brat. He begins rubbing his hands together. Once I hand over Ida to the Emperor's coven and sell Naruto in the black market, I'll make a fine coin indeed, leaving you, a human girl. At this point, he was just imagining the amount of money he would get, yet stops to when a dark shade overshadowed him. Why, when he looked up he found a falling tree falling right on him. What the? He moves to the right, yet multiple tentacles got trapped under the tree, surprised Luz, who saw a massive smoke cloud having formed behind the tree, and with it she saw something moving and shrinking with a single large monster fox jumping out of it, moving fast with great speed to get next to Luz, and growls at the octopus who was busy freeing his arms. And Naruto, is that you? She was cut off by her chains disappearing, freeing her while the monster freed himself. Why, you little. He turns his attention towards the two just as Naruto took in a deep breath. Just be good children and surrender already, or else I'll. He was silenced upon using his tentacles and puppets to block a large fireball courtesy of Naruto, gaining a painful yell as Sot covered his tentacles, yet before anything could continue the fox immediately grabs Luz by the back of her hoodie. Wait, she was cut off as she was dropped on his back. Hold on. She listens and grabs his fur just as he takes off in the opposite direction. Why, you too, I'll have my reve. He was cut off by hearing a tree branch break and turns fast, yet only saw black due to the fact a spear found its way impaled through his head, causing him to fall back and onto the ground before being reduced to dust. It seems my journey has met its end, for I have found him. As those words were spoken he turns and starts walking away while discarding the cloak to reveal his peculiar appearance. He was dressed in a butler uniform that consists of dark blue trousers, a dark blue 6-unbuttoned double-breasted tailcoat, a white dress shirt, and a black vest. He also sports white gloves with particular symbols embedded into with a monocle over his right eye, with the glass being black and blocked his eye from being viewed, while the left had a scar running down his forehead over his eye and down his face, yet the eye was uninjured, showing a black sclera and a light green iris. The left side of his head had shaven hair to show the scar went from his chin over his skull. The right side had spiky gray with black highlights. Think we're good here, muttered the fox, having stopped a couple of miles away with Luz still on his back, looking down sadly at the fox before getting off of Naruto, who looks at her. Naruto, I'm sorry. Her apology was immediately met with something other than, you are forgiven. For believing in some creepy wizard who turned out to be a big jerk. And sigh, and next time I'll listen to your advice instead of brushing it off. Good girl. He pats her head with his large fuzzy tail. At this point, Naruto just smiles triumphantly at being proven he was right, yet noticed how displeased and bothered she was. This place is nothing like I imagined. With a puff of smoke, Naruto returns to his human form to stand in front of her. Of course it isn't, not everything is based around some fairy tale book. If you don't want to feel disappointed, then stop having expectations on everything that involves comparing it to your book, that way it'll be more fun. When she heard that, Luz couldn't help but smile. That's not a bad idea. With a nod from Naruto, he finally yawns. Transforming into larger forms really takes a toll on my stamina, he yawns again but much louder. Let's walk back. As he said that, he begins to walk with Luz following after him. Did Ida teach you how to use magic? Nope, just bits and stuff I recall from my amnesia. Naruto puts on a thinking expression. I've been with Ida for about 4 years when she found me. So far it's like I can only remember some stuff I can do but nothing of who I am. Yet even so he smiles and turns to Luz. But honestly speaking, I'm not as bothered as you think when it comes to that. I'm pretty happy right now. As he finished saying that, he was smiling happily, which caused Luz to smile as well, both heading back yet not knowing the wheels of fate were turning, and with it, an even worse fate awaited them. So let me get this straight, began one Naruto who sat in front of Luz at a table. While I was off delivering potions for the day, you pretended to be an abomination to help out some girl and in turn got her an A+. As he spoke, Lu's nods which had him continue. Yet one of her classmates got jealous and after getting in trouble for catching you eat a sandwich gets sent to the principal's office only for her to return with said principal who wanted to cut you open. Another nod was given as an answer which disturbed the blonde. She really wanted that, eh? You're telling me? He shouted while face-palming himself at the whole story, which caused her to sigh in sadness while taking out a poster with her face on it and the words above being banned. Now I can't go back until it's been lifted. Yet even so she smiles sadly. Yet, even so, I've still got a great teacher. This caused Naruto so smile at her acknowledging Ida as her teacher. Well, I'll tell you one thing, she's thrilled at you getting your first wanted poster. I know, right? At this point, King finally spoke up while standing away from them in the hallway. Luz, it's time for your lessons. This confused Naruto. I've got everything ready. With that said, he retreats with Naruto looking at her questionably, which she flashes him a smile. King's teaching me about demons, wanna join in? Yet unlike her, Naruto was immediately skeptical at what she said and nods. And here we have the most fearsome creature in the world, the king of demons. Spoke Luz while she was video recording King acting adorable, such as tearing a sock apart. Facing his natural enemy, the ducky sock. Naruto was looking over Luz's shoulder to stare at the video showing King's great battle with the sock that he ultimately won. Where are you now, ducky sock? As he shouted that, he stands victorious with Naruto just staring at him wondering where he got that sock at. So, why'd you call us here again? Luz questions while looking up from her phone and at the small one, who realizes what was happening and quickly climbs up a table to announce the reason to them. Human Luz, you've been so obsessed with witchcraft that you haven't learned anything about my kind. This got an eyebrow raise from Naruto. Prepare yourself for Demons 101. With a quick movement of his arms, he removes the curtain to reveal the board showing demons of all shapes and sizes, more so the 9 shady ones at the top. Demons like me are grim tricksters of the twilight, creatures of sulfur and bone. King began while placing a hat atop his head while displaying a magazine that showed a dog which he thought was indeed an evil monster. And cute little paws. And cute little paws. King mutters with annoyance at Luz, who smiles. True. We live only to create chaos and misery. Our only weaknesses are purified water and passive-aggressive comments. Sometimes. This got a confused look from Naruto. Passive-aggressive comments? No comment. But that doesn't. No comment. Naruto just stares at King in wonder at his refusal to clarify, unlike Luz, who found it to be once again adorable. Oh, you guys are sensitive. Hey. King showed a somewhat irritated look. Even demons have inner demons. What, the most powerful demon of all is the Snaggleback? King rips off a poster to show a demonic-looking shell monster. He was cut off by Naruto raising a hand. Isn't it the 9 lords? 9 what? At this point, Luz turns to Naruto much to King's anger at being ignored. The 9 lords who rule the demon empire, basically he was cut off by King suddenly making a loud screeching sound in what could be seen as adorable. Lies. The pet shouts while pointing at Naruto. They are nothing compared to the Snaggleback. King too was cut off by Luz, who was busy commenting it being a so-called bad boy, adding a hat to it along with colorful words to its picture. Luz, pay attention. This information could save your life someday, and I'm already dealing with someone spreading lies. Naruto simply makes a confused expression, having actually been forced to read the demon realm's history by Ida, who wasn't much of a teacher in history. No. I am so paying attention. She proceeds to put on a mocking expression despite not meaning it to be. This is my paying attention face. As she continued to nod, both King and Naruto stared at her with blank expressions, both not buying it at all until a loud crack of thunder was heard from outside. Uh-oh, looks like it's gonna rain. Hooty's not gonna like this. Unlike them, Luz had different thoughts while standing up. I love the oof. She was grabbed by the hood and pulled back by Naruto. Unless you humans have heat-resisting skin, which you don't, I suggest you not to do that. Heat-resisting what? It was after that, Hooty opens the door to reveal raindrops falling from the sky, one hitting a flower and easily wilting it with steam coming off of it, much to Luz's horror. Boiling rain. Came the shout of Ida running towards the house full speed. Everybody stay inside. As she finished saying that, she ran inside with the door closing behind her. Phew. Ida shows a smile while looking out the window. That was close, any longer and it was gonna get painful. She turns to the very confused Luz, trying to comprehend that the rain boiling was another random thing in the demon realm, while Naruto didn't really care but instead smiles. Wow. Muttered the human while she sat next to Naruto and King as they watched Ida do her thing by casting a spell while being protected by a barrier. A boiling rainstorm on the boiling isles. The weather here is so fun. Naruto just turns to look at her like King, as if she's lost her mind, which Ida turns to look at her. Not sure why you think this is fun. I've been to your world a couple of times before. When I went to Vegas, I would trade our weather for yours since we got plagues, sharknadoes, shale hail, painbows. This disturber Luz, which King spoke up. It's like a rainbow, but looking at it turns you inside out. Luz immediately closed her hoodie while Ida turns towards them. So, until the boiling rain stops, no one except Naruto is allowed outside tonight. This surprised Luz, with Naruto speaking up. I can take it. Was the only reply Naruto gave to Luz, who stared at her friend. And if the rain doesn't get you, the snaggleback will. King opens up a book, showing snaggleback images. They wander the rain, feeding on boiled tourists. This caused Ida to chuckle. How many times do I have to tell you, King, the Snagglewatsit story is blown out of proportion. I've seen it in person and I gotta say I'm not impressed. This annoys King, who disagrees. Well, whatever the case, this force field spell should protect the house from boiling rains and small demons. While explaining that, she was about done with the spell in her hands. Hoot. Well, hurry it up with that force field. Hooty began to glare at Ida. That rain is getting closer to my precious manga collection. I'm not losing another one. Hooty caused Luz's eyes to shoot open and turn towards the face. You have a manga collection? Yup. Can I see it? Nope. Luz looks at Hooty in disbelief until Naruto places a hand on her shoulder. I recommend not talking to him about his collection. It's basically his most prized possession. Yet, even so, Luz looked disappointed while Ida was done, as she was using her staff to grab the orb of light and stamps the staff down to the ground, which then creates a force field spread over the house to protect it. Wow! Began Luz while taking off her hood to stare at the witch approaching them with a smile. Someday I'd like to be as cool as Ida the Owl Lady. Magical, sassy, surprisingly foxy for her age. This got a response from Hooty. She's in her fort owl. Hooty's eye was poked by Ida upon getting close. No one likes their age being told. After she told him that, she turns to Luz, who spoke up. Hey, why do they call you the Owl Lady, anyway? Ida smiles at the question. 'Cause I'm so wise. This got Hooty to snort, gaining another scowl from Ida. 'Cause she coughs up rat bones. Ow, stop doing that. Hooty glared at Ida for poking his eye again. That hurts. Then stop making me sound old or weird. Yet this caused Hooty to glare at Ida. He's not wrong. King finally spoke up. You are like an owl, you get distracted by shiny objects. This offended the witch. No, I don't. In response, Naruto decided to take out a human world pen with a crystal on the back, which he presses to turn on the light, immediately mesmerizing Ida. It sparkles and shimmers. It shines and delights. I must have it for my nest. Immediately she jumps at Naruto, who went wide-eyed and sidesteps, having her jump face first into the door, gaining a laugh from Hooty while Ida was rubbing her face. She usually tries to grab it. Maybe she's trying new things. Those were the words from Naruto and King, who watch Ida stand up with a look of annoyance upon her face with Luz helping her up. You have a nest. I want a nest. Nest party. Ida did not look all too satisfied with her words before speaking up tiredly. Ugh. That force field really took it out of me. She rubs the back of her neck, not taking that face to door too well. Oh. Moving a little slow. H finally catching up to ya. In response, Ida took exception to that by grabbing King's hat and pulling it down over his face. Darkness. Screamed King, who needed help getting it off while Ida enters the house. This is perfect. Luz followed after her. Since we'll be stuck in the house all night, Ida won't have any excuse not to teach me a spell. Her words confused and hurt King. But don't you want to finish our lesson? I was gonna let you scratch a demon's tummy. Me. Yet that way of convincing didn't have any effect. Oh, Luz turns to look at him apologetically. Sorry, King. But, magic. With that, she quickly goes after Ida, frustrating King, whose hat deflated as he went after her, but before Naruto followed he froze. Naruto turns fast. Despite the rain he heard it so clear as if it was in front of him, that being a violin that filled him with serenity at how peaceful it was, yet even so it disturbed him before he quickly shuts the door behind him, not wanting to stay outside any longer. By the time he got to the others was already mid-conversation with a pajama-wearing Ida. I'm not teaching you magic tonight. She covers her body with a blanket. I'm sleepy. I'm a sleepy little owl. Yet, even so, Luz wasn't gonna be denied. Please, Ida, please. Luz looks as if she was begging. How am I supposed to earn my witch's staff if I don't know any spells? No. Sleep. The blanket now consumes her head, making it all seem hopeless and disappointing. Luz, while Naruto just stares at her, seeing how bothered she was before he scratches her head with a sigh and takes out the pen, he proceeds to switch on and immediately hit a response from Ida, who sat up in her blankets to stare at the light, surprising Luz, who ends up catching it. Have fun. With a wave he walks away from Luz, who ends up smiling thankfully at him before turning to Ida. While this was happening, Naruto was making his way upstairs while it was storming outside with thunder and lightning, not paying mind to much while he yawns, opening up the closest door to the stairs to reveal an ordinary room, mostly just have a large bean bag that acted as a bed with comics, empty ramen cups, and other random things littering the room. Yet he just plops on his bed. Yet the first thing that came to mind when he saw darkness was the music. Why am I thinking about that? As he thought that, his eyes began to close as he wanted to sleep a little bit. As he did so, he heard it again, the violin, and with it, the darkness overtook him. Yet what came with it was another experience. Upon entering the solitude of dreams he was greeted by a sight he could not comprehend. He found himself in a blank space just floating aimlessly. Where am I? Destruction, pain, misery, revenge. Upon hearing that, he turns fast to see it in the distance, darkness overtaking the white, and with it countless voices coming from it. What? Hoot, hoot. At that moment, Naruto's eyes shot open as he had finally awakened from his slumber, as he sat up just as he. Hoot, oh hoot. That caused Naruto to grit his teeth as he transforms with a puff of smoke into a larger fox that bursts through this door and charges downstairs at the same time, Luz and King arriving at the entrance. What? Naruto froze, returning to his normal form as he stood next to an equally frozen Luz, both staring at the torn-down door with Hooty unresponsive. Yet what got their attention was a creature standing at the door and staring at them, its claws digging into the door as it stared at them before disappearing outside, signaling them to run towards Hooty. Hooty! Are you in there? Yet despite poking him he did not respond. Whatever did this escaped into the rain. What could survive that? she froze when she looked at Naruto, he was visibly shaking. She tried touching him yet in an instant he puffs into smoke, turning into a miniature little fox that was utterly frightened and instantly jumps into Luz's arms with that still frightened expression, further confusing Luz as to why Naruto is acting like this, unlike King who thought of something. Oh, my gosh. The snaggleback. This gained her attention. It feeds during the rains. It must have stumbled across our house and seen us inside. Yet before Luz could respond, they heard howling which they run out to see the monster enter a window. This is terrifying. Luz looks down at the unresponsive Naruto. So why do you look so happy? She glares at the squealing King. Because this could be a lesson. This would be a great way for you to see a wild demon up close and personal without Naruto being your personal savior like last time, though. King looks at Naruto with worry and wonders why he's reacting like that. Naruto. Luz said, lifting the frightened fox in front of her, yet he appeared to be stuck in his own little world as if the monster triggered something as he was traumatized. Are you okay? We need your help too, yet she couldn't finish upon heading his mutters. Not again, I can't do it again, I don't want to hurt her again, I won't be able to forgive myself if I do it again. Luz just stared at the shaking fox before she swallows and places her in her hood where he'll stay close. Let's hurry, Luz. King gains her attention. What if Ida gets eaten? She's upstairs and defenseless because you knocked her out. A groan came dork Luz while King squeaks in the joy which the two quickly run inside, not sparing a moment they grab the nearest weapons, with one being a hockey stick for Luz and King's being a stuffed animal, the two making their way towards the stairs they begin to climb, but as they did so they didn't even bother to turn, for a single figure stood at the doorway, staring at their backs. Back with the three, Luz and King made it to the top, staring at Naruto's broken down door and Ida's, whose was opened a little and moving, signaling them to close in on it, which they open. Oh, my gosh. Ida. The room was a disaster with a broken window as well as she was missing. She got snagglebacked. This worries her, which she gets a closer look at her nest to see the claw-like markings in her pillows. Ida. No. Slash marks. Naruto, can you? Luz stops as she could still hear muttering before turning to the pet. King. You're the demon expert. I need your help. In response, he raises a hand. I'll go get my demon book. With that, he runs out of the room in a hurry, which left them by themselves, which Luz took this as her chance and reaches into her hood. Naruto, she stops to see he wasn't there, shocking her as she stood up and looks around. Naruto, where are you? She stops due to hearing a puff of smoke coming from the closet, with only a little smoke being seen yet dispersing in the air, which she walks over to it. Naruto, are you? Luz stops when she heard it, loud footsteps followed. Why growing from the door, causing her to turn, yet immediately a hand shot out of the door that opened a little, pulling Luz inside, with the door not shutting yet instead cracked open enough to see outside. What they saw was a large black creature entering the room with the only light being shown through the window. The sight caused Luz's eyes to the window, yet it heard something and immediately turns and leaves the room in a hurry. Sigh, thanks Naruto, but Luz turns only to be brought into a full hug by the shaking blonde, surprising her as her cheeks heat up, yet snaps out of it upon seeing the look of terror on his face. Naruto. Yet he didn't respond but appeared to be lost in thought before jolting with her hands touching his face, snapping him out of it, yet instead of collecting his thoughts he made it scatter upon finding himself in a particular scene with Luz, his arms wrapped around her while she had his hands on his face, yet immediately he brings his arms back. Are you okay? You look very afraid. She stared at him very bothered. Do you know what that thing that attacked was? Her questions caused him to look away in shame. It's Ida. This shocked Luz, who watches her friend turn away. It's her curse, I've seen it once before. This surprised Luz, yet still she appeared to be confused as she watches Naruto turn away from her completely. If you saw it before, then why? She stops at seeing him wrap his hands around himself. Last year, It happened and I thought we were attacked, I thought it, ate Ida and I lost myself, He starts to shake with Luz staring at him, her eyes widening. I became overtaken by my rage, I was the one who changed. I became the monster. By the time I regained control, I was standing over Ida who had returned to normal. There was a lot of BLD. So much BLD. At this point, tears were forming in his eyes as he grabbed his head, unable to forget the sight. Not again, I can't do it again. Luz could only stare, clearly seeing his traumatized Naruto was, yet her eyes widened when she heard King shouting as he ran down the hall, followed by roaring and loud, thundering footsteps. Naruto. She stops, and at this point, Naruto jolts and turns upon seeing the door open with Luz running out, heading towards King's location while more roaring could be heard, yet he could only stand there, frozen as he thought about what he did to Ida before hearing a scream from Luz, causing his eyes to widen. In an instant, he heard it once again, the violin filling him with peace and serenity, so much so his eyes widen as his mind was clear, and immediately he charges right out the closet and out the room, not even realizing that standing directly next to the closet was a figure holding a violin, a smile gracing his lips. Elixir I gave you doesn't give Ida powers. King appeared very upset while they hid in the balcony. It prevents her from turning into that thing. She's turned into a nightmare and it's all my fault. I'm so sorry, Luz. I just wanted you to be into demons like you're into magic. I don't have many friends, and no one even pays that much attention to me. I thought maybe if I taught you, finally, someone would care about creatures like. King was cut off by a ball of paper hitting his head, causing the two to turn to see Naruto hanging in the edge of the balcony before pulling himself upon it, surprising them. We can talk about our issues later, but we gotta save Ida. Naruto showed determination. She'll start causing more damage if we don't do anything. Despite showing a new sense of determination, Luz was unnerved how quickly it was he was able to move past what was seen as trauma, yet she shakes her head with also determination. Yeah, that's why King will be our key to understanding Ida. Her words gained King's attention. Ida's turned into some kind of demon, who else knows more about demons than you? King could only stare at her and the toy glow pen in her hand, which he takes happily, and with a giggle, he gets to work. Let's see. She was bigger, covered in feathers, and had giant black eyes. King was already drawing on the wall. Demons with black eyes are usually sensitive to light. That's it. Light. Luz, use your human wonder rectangle. This caused her to lift her broken phone. I can't. My camera's all blasted. Then, what about that light spell? You saw me. I can't draw circles in the air. I'm not like Ida. She puts her phone down, looking away in shame. I'm a sorry excuse for, she was cut off by Naruto flicking her in the forehead. Hey, what are you? She stops upon his finger touching her lips. I've already acted hopeless like you doing right now, and I'll tell you one thing, it's not helping. Naruto places a hand on his chin. So far we'll have to rely on my fire since I can't use magic like Ida, so that will be the plan. With that said, they begin discussing what they should do. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 2. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Orion's Night on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.